Good morning, everybody. Woo! Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning, Beverly. We got some
Good
people
morning.
on. Y'all appreciate this. Anyway, hey, my name is Mike Alleman. This is Megan Alleman, Michelle Alleman. We're Jonathan Yankee. We're your leadership team here, and we do this call every Monday morning at 7:30. Except for the rare occasion, we're going to probably have like a Christmas or a holiday some kind of coming up soon. Maybe even an early morning baby on a Monday. We're not sure, but we're not going to make it that far.
That's
Not
exciting.
It's not going to be happening. But anyway, we do this to kind of gather our heads together and get our week started, get fired up. So I hope you are. I was going through a couple of things this weekend, cleaning out my desk, and I realized that looks like all of us probably remember what these things are, right? They're actual checks, voided checks. It's kind of cool. And then even more old school is a check registry, handwritten. I was like, man,
Those were the days.
those were the days. There was no.
I kind of like everything automated.
Yeah, I'm sure. I lost my first check on my first half I wrote.
Hmm.
And I had to go back to my client to get another one.
Yeah, we used to say, well, you didn't leave the home without collecting a check. Now without collecting their bank information.
Yeah, big difference. I like it better.
There you go. Close the seal. Close the seal. But old school, man. I was just trying to think of those things. What are the things that we didn't hold on, there you go. That we don't even know this aren't here anymore. We were hanging out with somebody yesterday, and they were telling us how their mom just spends all her time on the phone, and I think it's funny. 80-something years old, and that's all they do. Just sit there with that phone. But then I look backwards, and I just remember my mom used to sit in front of the TV watching the Wheel of Fortune on the game show channel was like the thing that made her last days worth it. Now we got it just on our phones and everywhere. We can do whatever. It's kind of exciting. Anyway,
Game shows are still where it's at, by the way. You can learn a lot from Steve Harvey.
What's that?
I said game shows are still where it's at, by the way. You can learn a lot from Steve Harvey on how to, communicate.
That's a good exercise. I think that's a good exercise, right? Like everybody should go watch a Wheel of Fortune tonight. They play it late night all the way till you go to sleep. Just watching Steve Harvey and
Family Feud.
Sorry.
The funny thing about Steve Harvey is that he's actually filmed videos to train first responders. When you go through police academy, fire academy, you watch videos that are pretty much brought on by Steve Harvey. And then you have like Dennis Leary and you have Ben Stiller. They've all done videos that are basically out there to help train first responders.
See, I'm giving y'all a reason to watch some TV tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Tonight.
No. Just tonight only though. But yeah, hey, don't forget we do 9:00 every day, Monday through Friday. We do the what do we call it?
Daily coaching call.
DCC. The daily coaching call and the money chair. And Kevin, I got to tell you, man, I'm really proud of you for getting back in that chair. And I think it was Jonathan that made the suggestion that let's just not let them sit once. Let's get them back in and let's see where they are now, kind of like an '80s rock documentary, right? But man, how are you feeling? I know you've been there a couple of times. Tell us how are you enjoying it? Is it helping you? Is it what are you getting out of it?
A lot of it has been pretty much taking the bits and pieces that each of you give me and kind of putting that puzzle together, but finding the actual way to put that puzzle together. Because, there's like the first time I was in the money chair, it was, I got on Marty's Zoom that day and actually put it all together while he was making the calls. And then, I started getting a little bit better on calling. And then all of a sudden, like the second time I was in the money chair, I started it was pretty much, I've had a couple of outside sources as well helping me, and just putting it all together. And then, like last week when Michelle sat on that call with me, it just starts clicking, and it's pretty much how I said it. And Fitz loved the way I put it, because I guess he pinned it somewhere, was I'll do anything to succeed, which is basically, I'll get out there and I will ask for help no matter what. And now it's pretty much, I did a little bit of research on my own, and I found out that a lot of the leads that I was buying were just garbage. So it's, I've talked to a lot of people, but, the ones that I've talked to, I'm starting to, in fact, I've got a call back from my first batch of leads because he's interested now.
Yeah.
And it's like the second to last name on the list, and it kind of fell. And I think this is, I don't know if this is karma or what, but it was the guy that Michelle and I were talking to on Tuesday, it was the name right underneath his. So I get 2 from the same list in the same week, hopefully. So, but yeah, it's coming together pretty well.
Gotcha. Well, man, look, I'm excited about everything that you got going on, and we always talk about Marty, how long it took them to get his first sale in, and we talk about Michelle went out there and just cranked it. It is a lot about just getting to see different people, and and having more people to go through. Even the ones that are true garbage, you got to take it as this is a practice run. It's either you're going to sell something or you're going to learn something, right? And you got to take that moment and go, okay, today's going to be something I'm going to learn. But it's also it's like a boxing match, right? You got to get in there and joust a little bit. What's worse is going to happen? They're going to hang up on you. Or they're going to say no. They still don't know where you live. They may have your phone number, but more than likely, I've learned even people that insist they're going to bug me on a daily basis for the rest of my life, they get tired. They give up. So there's hope.
Well, I always appreciate the professionals that continue to reach out to me, because just like anybody, I'm busy, right? And it's not that it's not that it's not important to me, but I might just not be available right at this moment when you call me. So I've always appreciated professional persistence. And so I try to give people that because it's something that I appreciate. And when you're poising it from the right place, it's always just an opportunity. It's never a good or a bad opportunity. It's just an opportunity. And even now, my dad has always said, you're either going to be learning, or you're either going to be selling, or you're getting continuing education. Like a lot of this business is a part of your continuing ed, right? Because there is always something to learn, always. And so I just want to encourage you that, like, stacks, Kevin, of leads that I've bought, stacks that I've spent a lot of money on that never came to anything. One, because I didn't persist the way I should have, or 2, it was just a bad batch. But the thing is that a lead is just a lead. A lead is not a sale. If it was a sale, everybody would be doing this. We'd be cracking the 70s, right? Like that would be too good to be true. They were all sales. And so make sure that you're poised when you're going into it, like we're poising ourselves mentally and emotionally correctly, so that when we're calling, it's not, we don't see it as a lay down, right? Because if we see it as a lay down, we're not going to build the right relationship. We're not going to build the trust, which is never going to lead, and it's never going to lead to a sale. Is there bad leads? Like, yeah. Like I said, I've got stacks. In fact, I just finally got rid of some yesterday or the day before from like 2016 and 2017. So I just want to encourage you in that it's just a numbers. I know you know this because we say it a lot. It's just a numbers game, and you've got to go into it knowing that. So ask yourself before you call, do I owe the numbers today or do the numbers owe me? And I know you've been texting a lot. Like I know that you've been putting in the numbers over 1,000 a week. You are somebody that the numbers eventually owe. Okay.
Right.
But the people who dial or make 20 texts a week and then complain about not having a sale, the numbers don't owe you yet. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's right.
The numbers don't owe you yet. And so you've got to continue to put those reps in so that you can get better. There is no easy way in life.
No.
You've got to earn it. You've got to learn it. And there's no shortcuts. I wish I could tell you there was. I will say the one shortcut we have is simplified issue business. Like simplified issue business is the shortcut, but you got to have the client first, right? Because simplified issue life insurance is easy to get approved. It pays fast. That's the best shortcut I know. But you have to find the client first. And so it starts with your mindset before you even buy your leads. If you're buying cheaper leads, go into it with the expectation that these are my practice leads. I've got to get good. So we're not relying on this lead to be the end all be all for us, but we're actually on us to gain skill and to get better.
And we've been talking a lot about the beginning process of the sale, right? Like you got to go through, make the phone call, get the appointment, talk to them, get the sale. And I'm just going to tell, especially the new people on the call, that there's going to be road bumps at every single time. I mean, even for us now, 15, 20 years later, we add a new carrier. Guess what? There's speed bumps. We don't know what we need. We don't know how to do the quoting. We don't know how to do the e-app. Will the e-app go through? There's all these things you go through and hit in the first few appointments that now that you got them, you're like, oh, I don't mean to stress you, but I'm just saying, like, feel comfortable, have comfort in knowing that no,
it's like, not a stress. It's not a stressful thing. It's just, we have to learn through it. What's the alternative, guys?
Right.
What's the alternative? You learn before and then you have no opportunity to make sales because you're not even dealing with real customers. Like, what's the alternative? You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
You've got to be, I love how Belle always says that you've got to be the best finder and the best messer upper at first to get to the point where you're a top producer, or you're making, you're writing your 5 apps a week, or you're writing your 6 apps a week. At first, you've got to be the master at messing up and the master at finding opportunities. Mm-hmm. So focus on that. Like, make this week about, how am I poising myself before I dial my leads and go into my appointments? And what am I doing strategically to make my skill better? Because I'm telling you, like, there are going to be if I'm dealing with 3 opportunities to actually make a sale, one of them is going to be an easy sale. Anybody could sell them. Anybody.
That's my favorite.
Which I love those sales, don't get me wrong, but they fool you. They fool you. Hear me. They will fool you. Those are the easy sales and anybody could make them. The second person you're going to sit with is not going to buy from anybody. This doesn't matter who you are. They just want quotes and they're not going to buy from anybody ever, right? Because they're scared and they just can't make a decision. And then you've got that other person who just needs somebody to have enough skill to walk them through. Mm-hmm. So if you have 3 appointments that are all laid down appointments, one of them is going to buy no matter who you are. Other person's not going to buy from anybody. The other person's going to require you to be the person who gets them from A to B. So most of the time, the difference between somebody who's going to do really well, really quickly, or just really well in general is the person who builds their skill. So focus on skill building and that's working on yourself. It's not as much as I wish that there was a magic lead out there. There ain't. And if there is,
If we
It was a
could, we would give
closed-
it to you the first round.
Well, and if it was a closed deal, people would be charging $500 for that closed deal lead to send to you. You know what I mean? Everything comes with a cost. So I just want to encourage you in that this week to not focus so much on the individual pieces of paper that you're calling through, but focus on what am I doing? How am I saying? How am I, what am I listening to that's helping me build my skill to get this person from A to B? Because all of us need to be led, and our clients especially. So I just felt that needed to be said this morning.
Well, good. We're looking for some stuff to be said.
Yeah,
this morning.
definitely.
And then also, since we're in the season of holidays, give yourself grace and thanks for the things that go well and not well, because it's all cumulative, right? We learn from the good parts of our days, we learn from the bad parts of our days, and if we choose to, right, we can choose to say, well, this sucks, I'm just going to do something else. Please don't give up on yourself. You owe it to yourself to give yourself a fair shot. And I know that all of us here believe strongly that this business works. I mean, look, you've got 4 people that are in this thing full time. The 4 of us that are leading this call, right? Me, Mom, my dad, Jonathan. And we've been doing this thing full time for years. It's all we do. If we weren't making money and we weren't being successful, we'd be doing something else too. But this is what we do. And I hope that encourages you. And we're not living a bad life, So but it doesn't happen overnight. So just give thanks for the things that maybe don't go exactly the way that you thought it would, but find something in that where you either learned or got something good out of it, and put that into your next appointment or put that into your next week. Apply what you learned immediately as fast as you can, and just be grateful for all of it. At the end of the day, this life is short, and none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. So we may as well just enjoy it and learn something.
Love it. Love it.
Does anybody have something that they wanted to share from their week? Either you had a case that maybe you needed a little bit of extra help on, or anything like that we can kind of help talk you through.
Good morning, Megan. Hold on.
Good morning, Jeff. You're
I had a little disaster. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hold on, I had an echo. I have to turn something down here.
Your echo was gone, or was there, but it's gone now.
Okay, is that okay? Or is it going to echo?
No.
You got reverb, like you're a rock star. Keep going.
The one thing I always hear on the 9 a.m. calls, and Kevin, I heard it with you and the young lady who was I think she was on the chair on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that I noticed, because this is so different from how we used to do it, Kevin, I bet you if you were sitting face to face with people, man, I think you would do a whole lot better. Okay. It's just, we all learned how to do it face to face. And I think it's really hard if you're doing it not face to face, because, everything is your voice. Everything is your voice. And this business is so counterintuitive on how you do it compared to other stuff. You would normally, if you're you try to bring enthusiasm, you try to be excited and stuff like that. But when it's just your voice on the phone, that makes us sound exactly like every other telemarketer that's out there. And what Michelle would tell us is, when we had the advantage, okay, all of us that were here, that we all sat together every single week, and we made phone calls together, and we listened to each other. And Michelle would step in at any point take the phone away from you, or after you got hung up on, call them back. Okay. And she would take the phone and you would get an appointment. Okay. And it was just instant. It'd be like, this is Jeff's manager. Yeah. He misunderstood what we were saying here. Blah, 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 blah. Boom. You got an appointment. But one of the things that I picked up that I think will help so much with this, doing business this way, is the tone of voice. And man, I was in sales for my whole life before this, and this was not how we did it. The very first communication that you have, those first few seconds, as Michelle or someone said, do like a combination of you work at the driver's license office and you're just kind of a little bit pissed off at the world and you're a little irritated that you're having to get back with these people, not any enthusiasm at all, but you're doing them a huge favor getting back to them. And that tone of voice, it's something like ring, ring. And it'd be like, say, answer the phone, Kevin. Oh, I couldn't hear you, but I'd say, Kevin.
Hello.
Hey, this is Jeff with Senior Benefit Center here in Galveston County. I was giving you a call back about the form that you had filled out and sent in. You put down that Juanita was your beneficiary. Does that ring a bell at all? Or do I sound crazy? And it depends on how old it is. If it's in the past 30 days and you're throwing out the information right off the bat, you wrote down $100,000, but there's no excitement. There's no enthusiasm. You're just slightly irritated. And then, because you know what, you're never going to get a single call from a telemarketer that'll ever be bored, slightly irritated, and just mechanical. And then depending how, once you've gotten them, it's just going to give you a half second more where they're kind of like, and plus, you notice I didn't say, hi, Kevin. Kevin. That's exactly how I do it every time. I never say hello, just Kevin. And then, because they're like, yeah, because telemarketers don't do that. It'd be Mr. Lowe.
And
is this Kevin Lowe Jr.?
And this was
so you got to completely break the pattern in their brain that you're a telemarketer. And then when they get excited, oh no, we don't want anything. Neither do I. I mean, this Kevin Lowe, you wrote down here that 1, 2, 3. It's kind of a complete boredom and irritation, and you're doing them the favor, the doctor lawyer thing. The doctor plumber. And then once you kind of get a little back and forth going, what you're doing with some people, then, it's okay to show a little more emotion. People are going to buy from people that they like, and you seem really likable. You got to get past the first point, and it's really, you got to keep that in mind. I think we're all thinking, when you start off, you're like, oh God, I don't know anything. And you're an expert. The state of Texas has declared you an expert. Have you got a lot to learn? Yeah, but you know way, way more than anybody you're calling. And so practice on that, try to stay, just don't talk too loud, talk just like you were calling up your buddy, that you've been friends with since grade school. Okay. It'd be, hey, Kevin, just like that. See what happens.
Thank you, Jeff, buddy. Appreciate you, Brandon. I know that you took a lot of that to heart because you had to do it. I watched you do it, and you had the benefit of having Michelle rip the phone out of your hand and tell you,
yeah,
give me that phone.
And the thing was, we were going to see people face to face, and look, today I still go see people,
right?
At least half the time. Who am I doing my current? I'm doing the texting with current clients. They already know me and like me, but even then, I still got to go. I got to go see them again.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, though, Jeff, we're talking about it's Christmas time. and you're going to see people, and you're going to see people face to face. And I think it's important to also let people know that this is what you do. Eric Belair has always said, a good buddy of ours already said, he said, you people got to know what you do, and again, it's more face time, it's more time with people. And when you get that, that's where the magic happens. I know we're getting up here on the hour.
Mike.
Yep, Pam.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
If Megan could go through really briefly how to go ahead and set, Beverly has an appointment for someone who wants to transfer their money. So could Megan
Yeah.
go through that?
1.5 million.
Woo!
Yes, sir.
Who is this person, Beverly?
He's a co-worker with me at Amazon, and he was just poking fun at me because I chose a wrong schedule to work some overtime, and so he was laughing, and he ended up walking with me, and I just kind of made a relationship with him.
Is he still working?
Yes, he works 2 jobs.
Is he over 59 and a half?
I'm not sure on his age yet. I think he's not there yet.
Where is this money from?
I know he works for UPS and Amazon. I'm not sure, but he does have 1.5 million.
Do you know where this 1.5 million is? What type of accounts it's in?
No, but I can find out.
Okay. So first step is that you found somebody who has money. So let's acknowledge that.
Right, and that was kind of a shocker because I was not expecting that.
Well, even 50,000, okay? Like, and we're not only, we can get, it's really dangerous to get caught up and only looking for the big fish. So even, the $50,000, annuities are ones to be, actually those, could really affect somebody's life, maybe even greater than a 1.5 million sometimes. Okay. But I'm saying it's the first step is finding the money, whether it's 10,000, 50,000, 2 million, finding the money, learning how to ask the right questions to get people to let you know that they have money. Did this conversation start out with just him saying that he wanted to get out of the market, or tell me what questions you asked him to?
No, I just said, do you have any funds available that you want to shelter from taxes? I could probably help you with some annuities, and bang, that's how it went.
Okay. So what I would do, Beverly, have you filled out a green sheet before?
I have many times, yeah.
Okay, so I would do the green sheet with him. I would just say, hey, listen.
When you say green sheet, I'm sorry, Megan, for interrupting, but
yeah,
I'm talking about somebody from other countries. And that's not what you're talking about, is it?
No, the green sheet is the financial picture page. It's inside the boot camp under files you will need. And it's the green sheet is what we send over to our wealth management team over at BAM, Chris Norris and Bahad, and their team over there.
Uh-huh.
It just is a fact finder sheet.
Oh, okay.
That needs to be filled in and signed by the customer before you have a meeting with Chris. So what you need to do is get that green sheet filled out.
Okay.
And then that way we can know exactly what he has. If you have a good enough relationship with him, I would also ask for the most recent statements of these 2 accounts.
Mm-hmm. Ever since we had our conversation, he comes to my workstation almost every night to check to see if I've done anything yet.
Okay. Well, you better get on it. Nothing like a client to push you, right?
Right.
So you better get on it. Now is the time where you need to be urgent and professional with this. Okay. And I mean that in the sense of you need to now do your research, find out what you need to do to help this gentleman. And I just want to preface this by saying, even if you don't get this deal, you're going to learn a lot. Okay. So
That's
just
what I need.
to that.
Okay.
And listen, you're not going to be able to move the whole thing most likely, but you might be able to help him with a portion of it. So first step is fill out the green sheet and then let him know, hey, I partner with a wealth management team and we're going to set up a meeting with the three of us. And one, identify if your funds are even transferable. Okay. Because some funds are not. There are restrictions. You can't just, you know, and then, so we're going to find that out first, and then we're going to figure out, you know, next best strategy to either one, get you more income in retirement, or two, put you in a protected growth plan.
Okay.
Okay. So first step, fill out the green sheet.
Okay.
Second step, set the right expectations with him, which is, if you can get me your most recent statements, that would be most helpful for us to identify if the funds are transferable to get you in a protected growth plan or more income in retirement. And step 3 is going to be to actually book that appointment with BAM, with somebody on BAM's team, and have the three of y'all together on a Zoom call and to go through it. So that's your next step. Screen sheets you can find on the boot camp under files you will need.
Okay.
And then to find the calendar for our wealth management team, you're going to go to the ARC, and then you're going to go to connections, and you're going to see a tab that says BACM. Our wealth management team, the office is called Burlington Alliance Capital Management, but for short, we call it BAM.
Okay.
The C is silent. So you'll see a tab that says BACM, and it's going to take you to their calendar.
Okay.
You do need to submit that green sheet before they will have a meeting. Because there's key things that we need to know about the client or the scenario before we can ever truly give a true recommendation. So
Okay.
that's the point of getting that green sheet and the most recent statements. Those both help us identify if that account is actually movable and when it could be moved, where it could be moved, and how much could be moved.
Okay.
Okay. But good job finding the money. That's the first step. Now it's time to learn, baby. And if you haven't already done so, the state of Texas, most states do require this, but I know for sure the state of Texas requires that you complete your 4-hour best interest and suitability training through wherever hub you do your continuing education through. I do mine through WebCE. You need to take that 4-hour course or you cannot write an annuity. So have that done beforehand. What I have found is that it is easier to be, when you find the opportunity, now is the time to just get that first course done. It's a 4-hour course on WebCE. It's called the Best Standards and Best Interest Annuity Training in Texas.
You said best interest, 4-hour best interest.
Yep.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, it's called 4-hour annuity suitability and best interest standards.
Okay.
So get that done as well, and get the green sheet and the statements, and then we can move forward.
All right.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Guys, it is 8:05. We've gone a little bit over, but we don't forget 9 o'clock. We got the daily coaching call coming up. If you can't be on that, it's 9 to 9:45 Monday through Friday. It's where we get our best work done. All right. We'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.
See ya.